Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
Boom, baby. What is going on, Insurance Syndicate? Happy winning on Wednesday. You know what time it is. We are live here at 9 a.m. Central within Syndicate HQ. It is the peak of the week. Like I said, we are here for winning on Wednesday. Wow, I see all y'all tuning in the comments. Let me know that you can hear and see me in there. And start dropping those weekly wins. That's what we're all about here on Winning on Wednesday. Before we get into the show, as always, a huge shout out to Viva Virtual Solutions. They are the main sponsor of the show. You probably see Lily in the comments there already. We could not do it without you, Lily. All the editing, the publishing, the clipping on all the different platforms that honestly I don't even have enough time to be on anymore. Seriously, we couldn't do it without you. And then also a shout out to Rob Lopez. He is the founder of Viva Virtual Solutions. We have a team of 5 VAs that we partner with through Viva. Seriously, we wouldn't be able to do what we do on the Clearview side of things when it comes to agent onboarding, policy reconciliation, and just general service and administrative work. We could not. So huge shout out to Viva, Rob Lopez, and Lily. You see Lily here within the group. Seriously, we could not do it without y'all. So as I said, go ahead and start dropping them in the comments, y'all, because it is the peak of the week. Hey, Melanie. How are you? Shout out to Melanie. If you guys haven't seen Melanie in the group, she's one of our new group experts. I'll just give you a quick little plug here, Melanie. Thanks for tuning in. They have an awesome kind of done-for-you service when it comes to just really getting in front of clients. And so she's posted quite a few times in the group and it's got a lot of engagement. But highly recommend her. You'll probably see her posting in the group more, but we're excited to have her on the team with preferred vendors. But like I said, y'all, you guys know what time it is. It's Winning on Wednesday. It's the peak of the week. We're all about our wins. I don't care how big or how small. Start dropping them in the comments. We want to be able to celebrate you. What's up, Eric? I see you guys in there. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Drop those weekly wins in the comments. My weekly win, I guess it's going to be somewhere around like midnight or 1 a.m. tonight, is that I've survived the start of the week without my wife. So I've got all the kids, and I've had my little dream team that we put together literally on Sunday night just to help with school drop off and pick up. And then also Gigi, who is getting ready to turn 1 this month. We found out on Sunday that Maria is going out to the Valley first thing Monday morning. So we pivoted, we made some adjustments, and ultimately it takes a tribe. You guys hear me say that. So I couldn't do it without my brother-in-law, and then also just one of our babysitters and amazing friends of ours really just stepping up and helping out. But I will say, they're long days, and then you go right into the chaos, and we're making fire stations and doing all the dinner and all the baths and all that. So this is more of my weekly win is my wife's coming home because she helps me out with so much at the freaking house to be able to do what I need to do within the business. So that is my weekly win. Again, keep dropping them in the comments. Even if you are catching the replay, we will still circle back and celebrate with you. But you guys can see, we're going to go ahead and get into the show. I've had Todd on the show once before, and gosh, that was probably, almost maybe a year ago now. And just to see where he's grown and what he's grown into within our industry in the last year, 18 months. It's pretty crazy to see. So some of you guys have met Todd. Some of you guys have seen him around on social. You maybe saw him on my personal profile yesterday. I'll let him talk about the golden ticket and everything. But without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Todd Wilson to the show. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? What's up, Syndicate? How we doing today?
Doing good. Doing good. How are you doing, my man?
Good, man. Great.
Yeah.
Hearing you celebrate your weekly win, man, I can vouch for Joe on this. His kids are built different. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, if the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah. I was just having this conversation yesterday. I'm like, bro, like the conversations that I have with my 6-year-old, I'm like, bro, am I talking to a freaking adult right now? Like, what's going on, man?
100%, man. It's quiz time with it's quiz time with her every time, man. She wants to know it all, and hey, she's gonna be the one, dude. I'm telling you.
Hopefully, man, they want to be in insurance. Speaking of it, man, for just letting people know who you are. For those who haven't had, the opportunity to meet you in person or see you here within the group or engage with you on social media, just let them know. Quick little 30,000 foot overview. Who's Todd Wilson? And then what's a weekly win of yours?
Yeah. So, I come from multiple industries. PNC now, we're rocking here with Joe for. Oh man, I think it's gonna be 2 years next month, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's time flies by, man. I swear it really does. It's crazy. You blink and you miss it. But I come from a lot of different industries: construction by day, restaurants by night and weekend. For the longest time, I worked a procurement position for Tesla for a few years. When my wife and I moved. Technically, she moved to Texas. I moved back to Texas about 5 years ago. And that's actually, coincidentally enough, how I met Joe and Hanky and pretty much the whole squad was, just the fact that, hey, our local watering hole, my wife is now the acting general manager of. And I thought these dudes were, they're ACC, the community college is like catty corner to the restaurant. And I thought these cats were in there, doing their homework and stuff and drinking some brews while they're doing. I'm like, man, these guys are me. Like 10 years ago, this is exactly what I was doing. I'm in crunch time. I'm trying to get my homework done before class starts and calm the nerves with brew. And we walk in there like a rock star, So yeah, I've been in PNC again for like 2 years, loving it. I'm like the one-man band for a long time. So, when our sales force slimmed down a little bit, I'm running needle, just moving all day long. We're jumping around from doing title bonds to commercial auto, jump back to personal auto, homeowners, been really privileged to have, you obviously as a mentor and Hanky as well, just dropping bars on me on a daily basis, schooling me up on the education piece. Thank you so much, Hanky. I thought I saw you in here a little bit. Yeah. So big shout out to Hanky too. But yeah, just having the right people in my corner has really exponentiated, where I am in the industry these days. I always say I'm 2 years going on 10 now. It's pretty wild.
Which he has, I will say, I don't do this to everybody, but I did it to Todd where I'm like, I know he can handle it. So this dude literally knows like any and everything about property and casualty insurance. And he has now for probably, the better part of this year, right? But it took you about not even 12 months. And now he can pretty much do any line of business, you name it. He can at least knows where to go with it and how to quote it. And so that's a kudos to you. Real quick before we get into it, what's a weekly win? What you got going? You gotta share the golden ticket, dude.
Yeah, well, and I do want to make mention on that. So just for all you PNC folks out there that are getting into the industry too, success does not come overnight. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, just like Joe just said, he hit the nail right on the head. Look, guys, I mean, it's going to take a solid year to build that foundation and get, what you need, that knowledge piece down to be able to be the gangster on the phones that you need to be to sell, and make your targets every month and actually make this thing profitable. So, for me, it took, if I'm being honest, because, that's who I'm, fully transparent person. So, honestly, it took me probably a year and like 2 months to be rocking at it now at the level that I am. But yeah, so Joe said on the weekly win, Man, it was caught me out of left field. Dude, I was so stoked when I got that call too. I was like, so low key. Progressive's been running a spiff, an incentive program over the summer where it was for every auto policy that you sold, you had a chance to spin the wheel to win a prize, right? And the prize amounts went up to like $35. I won like just short of 150. But man, my luck, I'm hitting that $10 every time. I'm like, oh man, $10, $10, $10.
Right.
Like, this thing's great, whatever. I mean, it's cool. It's a little bit of extra coin in the pocket, but at the end of the day, I mean, for every 5, 10, or 15 auto policies you sold throughout the incentive program, you get 1 entry per 5, 10, and 15. So up to 3 entries into the golden ticket. And the golden ticket, the rewards start at $1,000. And I was like, like, for real? Like, and knowing like me, my luck, man, I'm like, oh, I'm fully convinced $1,000, like all I'm getting, right? So, and then, long story short, Joe and the rep, our progressive rep, set me up and was like, I get on the phone. Joe's like, Todd, I need you to come in my office, and shuts the door. And I'm like, what? Like, this never happens. Like, has never happened, actually. So he's like, yeah, man, I've got Eric, our progressive rep, on the phone, and just cut to the chase. Eric's like, hey, man, have you been conducting any like fraudulent activity, or like, have you been taking part of that? And I'm like, dude, where are we going with this? Like, I'm thinking, man, I'm about to lose my progressive contract. That's a big one. We can't have that. But nah, he's like, dude, I'm just joking with you, man. Like, you won the golden ticket. I was like, dude, for real, and again, so prizes starts like 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 5, or 10. And like, I lost sleep this weekend thinking about it. I'm not going to lie. Like, Sunday night, it was hard to go to sleep coming in here just with the probability of winning $10,000 at my disposal. I'm like, man. So we made a big production of it. If you guys haven't seen the video, check it out. It's on Joe's personal profile page. I planned on shooting my own video, but why would you do that when you got, somebody that's as active on social and knows how to edit and crop and do all this stuff as like Joe does. He's the man at that. So I just let him have fun with it, and we had fun with it. So check it out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, it spun the wheel, won $5K, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, baby. $5,000. That's outside of commissions, y'all. That's literally just a straight incentive, like spin to win up to $10,000. Straight $5,000, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't complain about that, can we?
Nobody'd want to hear it if I did. That's for sure.
You've been listening to my calls through that wall, dude. That's funny. Well, let's go ahead and get right into it, man. One of my first questions I had for you already kind of brought it up, right? Where it's like, construction by day, kitchens and restaurants and sous chefing and everything that you were doing at night. And then obviously, got into procurement and running that team at Tesla before you got into insurance. So you have experience in all these different we'll just say industries for the lack of a better word. What is one commonality you think you have taken or brought, and again, commonality or maybe a trait or a skill set that you have brought through those different threads or different industries that have allowed you to continue to win in insurance, right? Because it's not like you weren't successful at pretty much any of the other things that you were doing. And even, maybe talk a little bit about, the degree that you have in school and like what you're trying to do by, building sustainable enterprises, all that stuff, right? It's not, hey, I got into insurance because I'm, it was like desperation. Oh man, I got to try something. What is that one thing that you think you have brought through all those industries that has allowed you to find success in insurance?
Well, if I'm thinking about it at like a level of, what have I brought from all of them combined to insurance now, it's going to be relatability 100%. I'm a car enthusiast, right? So I'm a gearhead. I've worked on all my cars my whole life. I can talk shop whenever, we're talking about, not a Fox body Mustang, my first car was a 87 Porsche 924S. I've had Trans Ams. I've done a lot of, motor swaps, really the whole built ground up cars and stuff, so I can talk that. I can talk that, those points. When it comes to construction, I was a carpenter by trade, but anybody that's ever been in that industry knows that, when you say you're a carpenter by trade, that you're wearing a lot of hats there. Right.
Yeah.
So,
we got a lot of industry codes built into that one.
Exactly. I mean, that's when you're a carpenter, man, you're a freaking electrician, you're a plumber, you're a roofer. You're the whole nine, you're the whole package. Right. Restaurants, same thing. If you're looking to open a restaurant, I can pretty much lock down, what your projection should look like in terms of food cost and that kind of stuff. So it's really that consulting piece, and now that our team is growing, that's one of the big things that I always emphasize is guys, while we're talking insurance, be the consultant, be the that's that everybody always says, be the expert. Well, what does the expert look like for you? Right. Your expert, Joe, is going to look better, different than my expert. Right. And it could be, I look better in a certain, category than you do. You know what I mean? So we kind of got to just lean into, what your knowledge base is. And you can't just, at the same time, you can't bullshit a bullshitter though, too. Right. So if I got a guy on the other end of the phone, he's like, man, this guy doesn't know jack about what he's talking about. Okay, we got to draw the line somewhere. Right. So,
I think
relatability.
It is the relatability, right? I mean, that's what I think allows you to be a better consultant, because if you have that relatability and really what does relatability lead to is the relationship with the client, then that means you're uncovering and learning so much more about them to where you can truly consult them, right? I think being an expert, let's stay here. Let's go a little bit deeper on this because I like this topic. Being an expert in insurance is just knowing your product. That doesn't make you an expert in sales or an expert in actually delivering your product to the end consumer, right? It is that relatability. It is the ability to get your foot in the door and totally allow them to have those walls come down, right? And so they're not, they feel the transparency. They feel as though you're not getting bullshitted, or again, you're the insurance expert and you're spewing all this terminology on them and they have no clue. They don't even care what this insurance term is or whatever, right? And so I think there's a difference there, 100%. I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase this as far as when you what's the number one way you think that you're able to truly build the relationships through relatability? Is it asking the right questions? Is it, and I may be answering it, is it just shutting up and letting them talk? Or is it more, there's a blend because, hey, I've done so much, I can actually relate to them. What do you think is kind of the key there? Where, because I've heard your conversations, man. I mean, your people freaking love you. They send you referrals galore. What do you think it is that you do really well to kind of, again, get your foot in the door, but ultimately create the relationship through the relatability, through the transparency? What do you think on that?
Yeah, well, so that's probably in my word track. I say it literally to every single person, no matter what line of business I'm looking at selling here, is going to be, I am going to be your non-traditional insurance agent, right? I get that a lot too, where it's man, you do not sound like an insurance agent. I'm well, that's because I'm not your, suit tie wearing hoity toity, I'm trying to cram everything down and sell you. Nah, man, I'm transparent, very straightforward person, because that's how I would want business to be conducted on, towards me. That's who I want to talk to. Right. So basically that's how I pretty much, drive my sales, is being the person that I want on the other end too. Right. So, being straightforward, being transparent, that's it, man. But really the key, everybody wants the key to the secret sauce. Here it is, guys. It is not answering. It's not asking the right questions. It's answering the right questions. That's really what it boils down to. Getting your customer. You can ask questions. People love talking about themselves, but whenever they're asking you questions, that's when you got them on the hook. That's right. when they're asking the right questions. Hey, what does this mean? Okay, let's take that piece out with the jargon. You made a good point there. That's a lot of what we do here, especially in P&C, man, is hey, I got to break down this legal terminology for you, because it's obviously it's part of the policy, but what does this actually do for me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an easy one. You know, I mean, anybody can pull Chat GPT and be like, what does, waiver of subrogation mean, or
Right.
whatever. But at the end of the day, it's getting those customers to ask those right questions, and, open-ended questions get you there too, where it's not a yes or a no, because you get
Let them tell the story. Right.
yeah, get them to talk about themselves. That's really it, man. There's different methods too. I mean, yeah, it's a great sales method is, if you're gonna not go with the open-ended question route, you basically want to ask questions to condition your prospecting customer to say yes, 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 yes. Right. That way, your last question that comes through is like, okay, how would you like to pay? Yes. Oh, I mean, credit card.
Right. Yeah.
But
I think with that too, I hope you guys heard that. He said, and this is literally like verbatim from one of his clients. Also too, I am watching the comments. If you guys have questions, or if you want to ask Todd literally anything specific, feel free to drop those in the comments. But you said, literally, this is what they told you. You don't sound like the rest of them. That's really big, y'all. Like how much have we heard? Like, what are you doing to separate yourself from the noise, from the crowd, from the rest of them, right? Even like, is talking just about your probability of winning that golden ticket. I mean, there's like 50,000 just progressive agents, y'all. There's like almost 50,000 agents just with that one carrier. Imagine how many thousands, probably over 100-something thousand, if not more, insurance agents are out there in the world. When you have your clients saying you don't sound like the rest of them, like that's how you know you've really won, right? Because then you've totally separated yourself from really what we'll call just the average. Otherwise, they wouldn't call it the rest of them, right? That's typically they're relating to the average there. So as you've gotten into this, right, and you have also been thrown into not just, obviously on the personal individual side, you're working with business owners and large companies, and obviously, trucking operations and all that. What are some habits? Again, I'm speaking, and I want you to speak to basically, hey, look, this is an agent that's in their first 2 years, that has kind of just been felt like they've just been thrown into the deep end and figure it out, right? Talk to them about maybe some habits or some routines, even though it's obviously, every day is different, and you can have the same habit and routine, and then as soon as you walk in the door, everything changes. That's just the world we live in, specific in this industry too. What are some habits or routines you think, or at least you could offer to people like, hey, here's what I'm doing to basically consistently win?
That's a tough one.
What do you think? Is it something like think about like what you just do on a daily basis? Like, but again, it's weird, isn't it? Because it's like, dude, I'll set out to have this. Yeah. Like I have my morning routine, but then as soon as I walk in this door, part of why I like this industry is because there's always something new, but there's got to be some type of consistency piece in there. Like what do you think it is?
Yeah, I mean, you're right on it, dude. Like it changes on the drop of a dime. I mean, like it could be 5 minutes from now and my whole day is completely shifted to something in some different direction.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, really, just really speaking out loud, the thing that separates us and makes us the consultant, right? And when I say us, I don't mean us as property casualty agents. I mean us as in like Clearview, Sinopus, even more, our thing, right? Yep. So, I'm winning business because I'm that consultant. Yeah, while we're talking insurance, man, I've got ancillary products for days, dude. If you're, you need a cash influx, I've got a partner I can link you with. We can get you, if the books look right, credit looks good, we can get you like $300,000 overnight type of thing, right. Trucking. Okay, well, hey, while we're talking insurance, when we're looking to scale, we've got DOT and compliance, safety regulations that we can partner you with to make sure, they're keeping a watchful eye on your employees so that they're not damaging your safety score. We've got warranty options. We've got financing partner, get you in trucks whenever if your truck breaks down, you need to replace, that is going to really hurt your bottom line. It's really, I mean, yeah, it's super rewarding saving people money. Right. Like, and when I say saving people money, I'm not talking like on the commercial lines. It's not a drop in the bucket. I'm talking like tens of thousands of dollars potentially.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's great. but what else am I going to get? And really, I mean, just picking up the phone in the first place, that's a whole animal on its own, man. I can't tell you how many times I win business on, prospects that are reaching out to me because they can't get a hold of their insurance agent for like weeks, right? I wrote a trucking account last month where this guy's like, dude, I'm not going to lie, man. I have called her, I have emailed her, and he's like a number of times. I've even gone to the links of like showing up at her office a handful of times. She's never there. So, I mean, you can't just sell a policy and then ghost your customer, and that'll never get you. You sell a policy, you don't pick up the phone for them on the next time that they call. That'll never give you referrals.
Right.
It's about fostering those relationships, not just building them.
Yeah. No, 100%. I'll give you some credit here too, because as I'm, kind of sitting here thinking about it as well, like, okay, hey, like I'm sitting right behind you. Like I hear you on the calls, right? I see what you're doing, and obviously now even have you, kind of in this management role of helping with, the new team members that are coming on because of your, your experience, but ultimately because you found success in your experience. That's the main thing. You wouldn't be a team lead, if you weren't finding success. But I think one of the main things, yes, pick up the phone, y'all. Was just talking about this with Steven Martinez last week. Just the benchmark of this industry, it's just so freaking low, guys. Like where you can, like Todd is consistently winning business, even if we remove the relatability or the, the consultant approach, like, and being, transparent. It's like he's winning business because he picked up the freaking phone. Like that's how easy it is to win business these days, because of all the mediocrity out there. But also, dude, guess what you have to do in order to pick up the phone? You have to show up.
Yep.
So, I mean, I could probably count on 3 fingers the amount of time that you've missed out of this office, right? And that's not even including the time that's been outside of this office, right? Or we're going and networking and doing events, or if you're working on a Saturday or even sometimes on a Sunday, if you got to get, something done for your client. That is a big piece. So I'll brag on you there and I'll give you that credit, because at the end of the day, you can't pick up the phone. I mean, I guess you can if you're like running it through an app or whatever. Don't get super technical with me there. You guys know what I'm saying. Like you got to just freaking show up, especially in these first like 18 months to 2 years. Really, their first 3 years in this industry are what make or break agents, right? It's why we have the whole 8% conference, because 92% of us fail in our first 2 to 3 years. And a lot of the time, it's because you're just not showing up. You're not getting into that office, and you're not exposing yourself to the mentorship and to the knowledge from different people, right? And the sales expertise and self-development and all that stuff. I think that's super important.
Another piece of that too. And I mean, you're exactly right, dude. Like showing up is 90%, or let's kick that down a little bit. Let's say 70% of it, how you show up,
right?
That's another piece too. I mean, are you open mind? Like, again, we're talking mentorship. I mean, why would I not show up when I have the ability to sit right in front of Joe Campert,
right.
Alex Hankey, Joe Campert on my back left, Alex Hankey on my back right, which is kind of crazy. It's like that whole, the fighting little, like what do they call that? My left shoulder, my right shoulder type thing. But no, I mean, seriously, and that's
sales manager. Like, I'm watching you, Todd.
But I mean, seriously though, and I mean, now showing up is great, is 100% it. But then how I show up, right? So if I ask Joe a question and then I don't receive that well, because I've got a bad freaking attitude from something that happened the night before or the day before, and I'm still carrying it on my shoulders, I'm not gonna retain that, or I'm not gonna take that the way I should take that, right? If I come in open-minded, come in, not super tired from, going out drinking all night the night before or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's just at the end of the day, it's all about mentality too. And then that also, when I show up and now I'm on the phones, that bleeds over into those conversations too, Yep. So you gotta just, and no matter how freaking negative your prospecting customers can be, you still gotta, I mean, it's very rewarding when you can turn the tables on them and be like, no, man, this is 100% a you thing, but I'll help you solve for it.
Right.
And I'll make money while I'm doing it. Right. And like in the back of my head, I'm jumping up and down, like,
What do you think it is with the coachability of agents, right? Especially new agents. I have my answer, but I'm curious to see what you think it is. Like, what is it that stops a new agent, right? Or even sometimes an experienced, but let's just stick with new agent because that's kind of the theme we're rolling on. For somebody that's new in the industry, and maybe they've had success in other industries and now they come here and let's find success. What is it do you think is holding back, the average agent when it comes to coachability, when it comes to listening, receiving, implementing, all that? What do you think it is?
So, I'm just going to call a spade right off the rip here. We're talking about new agents. My head goes to that new generation and it's not just insurance agents. It's freaking every industry, right? Like the newbies coming up, those 21-year-olds. I'd say that class goes from like 21 to like darn near like 28, like pushing 30 these days, man.
Jeez, whoa now, dude.
Work ethic number one right there. Let's take that out of perspective. I was just having fun with that for a second.
You're good.
But no, I mean, at the end of the day,
you know what I think it is?
What?
Pride. I think it's pride.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards ego.
Yeah, you could go ego as well.
Yeah,
right.
I was leaning towards ego.
I'm the next best thing, and I'm on a lot of agent calls. You know that, and it's like, some of these calls, it's just like, bro, like they are the next best thing since freaking sliced bread. I already know how to freaking do this, man. Just give me the carriers and I'll grip it and rip it. And it's just like, but dude, it's so much more to that, and especially speaking of just a different day and age and new generation of. Dude, they're new generation of people. They're new generation of technology and the world we freaking live in, man.
That's true.
I mean, how
new generation of customers too.
Yeah. How do you handle that? How do you handle a younger? Because I mean, we have clients where it's like, oh my gosh, like why am I insuring you? You were born in 2002, but you're already like grown. Like it's weird.
Oh, dude, talk about something that burns me up, man. Is when I see somebody like I'm born 86, right? So I'm getting old, and these young bucks in the office, they give me shit for it all the time. I never get to live that down. But at any rate, man, does it burn me up. I mean, probably eat my ego, right? I'm like, man, I see a 1995 or 1996 freaking birthday on a $2.3 million house on Lake Travis. I'm like, oh man, at what point did I veer off here? You know what I mean? But
right.
And here I am, selling insurance to this cat. But nice to meet you, man.
Right.
But at the end of the day, yeah, it's selling to the new generation. I feel like they're more receptive to a lot of things than the older generation is. It's just calling a spade a spade here. Because like the older generation, man, they want to know every single detail about this policy. It's so much back and forth communication before we actually land it, especially on something that's sizable. Let's say 40K plus in premium type of thing. They're a lot less, or they're a lot more reluctant, a lot less. Ready to just execute and pull the trigger before they know every single piece.
Right.
And that's kind of where I think like my age, I can lean on that, or I could lean on the other side of things where it's like the younger generation coming up, man, they're like, hey,
sign me up.
if you say I'm good and it's covering me for what I need, and this is the cheapest price, all right, bet, where do I sign?
Right.
So it's you get a mix of that, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, again, it's just being that corner, man, and letting them know who you are right off the rip instead of trying to sell them. Like people buy, from Joe, they buy from Todd. They don't buy, when they're buying a product, they're buying you too. Right. I mean, that's the whole thing, that they're buying your product because they want to work with you, and I think that there's a lot of novelty in that. Right off the bat, that's where the rapport building comes in like super heavy. It's like, okay, well, here's what I am. Here again with the ancillary products, while we're talking insurance, right. And we can circle back to this, but understand that like I'm here to help your business grow, which, you may mention in my degree and everything. Yeah, I've got a degree in business management, but like my focus is sustainable enterprising. So that's finding longevity in companies through sustainable initiatives. And when I say sustainability, everybody's mind always races to go green. And that's not really, we're trying to save the green in any way we can here we're trying to, to make more green effectively.
Right.
It's not necessarily, and that can be cutting labor costs, that can be cutting insurance costs, that can be cutting a lot of different things down. But then also the adverse side of that is, man, you got to spend money to make money too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's where that, that partnership comes in. If you're just selling insurance, that's great, and you can be a badass at that. But, you're selling Joe Camper, you're selling Todd Wilson. Like, I can't just sit back and watch this company stay flat when I know I got people help them find that influx of capital that can help them maybe exponentiate, their growth. They may grow to a different level that they never even thought of.
And I was just having this conversation yesterday with a young gentleman. He may be watching this, Michael. And, I see you, Grace. Okay. I'll definitely ask that. That's a good question. I was talking to him because he's like, there's the two-sided coin of, be the, jack of all trades and the specialist of none, blah, 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 or just really specialized, really like long obedience in one direction. And I was talking
jack of all trades, master of none too.
Right. And that's what he's, yeah. And he's like, dude, but I'm like, that's the thing though. Like, when I offer what I offer, I don't say that we talked about the expert, right? And again, I'm just very upfront with that. I am not the expert in life insurance, but I got somebody who is, right? Hey, I am not the expert in truck financing or warranty products, but I got a guy that is. So even though, you can be the jack of all trades, at least in the consumer's eye, it's not that I'm like distracting so much of my focus to that. I'm deal brokering, man. And I think, again, they're buying you, but when they buy you and I hand that relationship off because they already bought Joe or because they bought Todd, then there's instant know, like, and trust in that referral and that relationship that has been, moved over. Even though it's outside of my wheelhouse, doesn't mean that I can't still kind of be a part of that process, right? And continue to build that relationship and ultimately build my referral relationships and drive additional revenue that way. And as we all know, the more lines of business, whether that's insurance related or not in a household, the stickier the accounts, right? Real quick.
Yeah, let's make it impossible. Let's make it impossible for them to leave, right? That's the ultimate goal.
Like they do. Oh man, I do not want to move any of this crap. Okay, fine. Like we're just staying, right?
If I move one thing, I got to move it all.
Before I get to Grace's question here, speaking for a new agent, right? And if you had to go back, not even necessarily if you had to go back, I kind of just want your opinion or your thoughts.
Joe's like, don't be thinking about going back, dude.
No. I'm like individual. I'm like individual or commercial. Like, do you like one or the other better? What would be your advice of like, man, if I could go back to day one, knowing what I do now, even though you know all of it, is there something that maybe you would have done a deeper dive? Would you gone heavier into the commercial side of things? Do you like having the expertise on the personal, but kind of like, meh? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because I go back and forth on that too. And
that is a freaking loaded question, dude. Commercial is the shiny object, right? Man, that thing can make you a lot of money, but dang it can charge back a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I mean, how many times have I been hit with some crazy charge? I mean, the first chargeback that I saw, I'm not even kidding, literally on personal or like just the first one that I saw, period, was like $80,000. And I was like, like, what? Oh my gosh, dude. And I'll never forget when I saw that commission statement. I was just like floored. And again, shout out to you and Hanky there too. You know what I'm saying? Having the right people in your corner.
Right.
But dude, I mean, like if I had to give somebody, so going back myself, honestly, dude, I would have listened to you. I would have been heavy in trucking. I would have, my book would have been a hell of a lot bigger than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how I learn. That's not who I am. So I wanted to learn everything, right? If I had to give somebody advice coming in right now, though, especially as like an agency owner, I would say, dude, load your book up with all the personal lines that you can. Lean on that heavy, because that's going to be your renewal. Those are your renewals, man. That's your foundation right there. And yeah, great. You can sell a $25,000 trucking policy, here and there, one a month. That's going to supplement the commercial exposure just on its own. But like the thing about personal lines over the commercial lines, and like from my experience and what I've seen in the industry is like, if you fully serve somebody on the personal line side, you have business owners in that segment. I mean, you have people that have businesses, are in trucking. They know people that have businesses, whatever. Those are referral heavy. From my experience, dude, like I just saved this business 10 grand, and now I'm asking about, cross-selling their personal lines. Oh yeah. Maybe one day, they're just they're so more reluctant to like even give you a shot at like their home and auto. And it's like, dude, I just showed you that I saved you like 10 grand a year.
Right.
And like, I'm telling you, I can probably, oh, you're with State Farm? Yeah, dude, I can blow them out of the water. And speaking from experience, I know that I can blow State Farm out of the water when I'm looking at the package, right. But it's like, dude, you're not willing to bend on that side of things. So I would say build heavy on the personal side, and then maybe throw some automation at that, on like a follow-up, quarterly or, 3-4 months down the road. Say, hey, keep me in mind for your commercial lines, keep me in mind for, your friends and family kind of thing. And that's how
I always go back and forth on it, man.
I do too. Honestly.
I'm like everybody and their brother for the most part. Okay. Hear me. I'm summarizing some of this, but it's like everybody and their brother for the most part needs auto and home insurance. Right. So the market is definitely, I have more people to market to than I do business owners, because not everybody and their brother is a business owner. We have a lot of people that just have 9-to-5s and they're talking to us on their lunch break or once they get off work, whatever that may be. But at the same time, again, you factor in like, yeah, but shoot, man, like I could write a fraction of the policies. I could write 4 trucking policies a month and be selling over 100,000 in premium, no problem. If I want to do 100,000 in premium on the premiums are a little crazy right now, so it may be a little easier these days but as the markets start to open back up, rates start decreasing more, because we are seeing that rates are starting to go down, and it's dependent upon the state, but carriers are coming back, right? So those premiums, again, right now they're high, but still, how many policies you got to write in order to get to that 100,000 if that's your minimum benchmark that you're trying to write? I don't know. But then at the same time too, again, the same accounts that can make you rich, I always say they can make you freaking broke. Personal lines a little bit more, maybe nitpicky. Really, I got to go through the ins and outs and every nook and cranny with you for like a $2,000 a year policy. But the renewal potential on that versus the volatility of what can come from a trucking account where, within 6 months, they started off hot. It was amazing. And then they hired, one bad driver, and now their DOT, went to crap. You're getting non-renewed. I have no other options for you other than they just have to shut down the business. And it's like, dang, man, did I really just spend all that? Anybody, I told you this too, Todd. Anybody that's in the commercial space, have a little chargeback bank, just in case.
Yeah.
You get that
no joke
coming through. Maybe put half of that back until the next 6 months, and then maybe spend the rest of it, because you don't want to have to come back and pay $8,000. That's for sure.
Well, new venture trucking too, man. I give it the law of 3 months. Those guys don't really get loads until they have like a 3-month experience on it. So, and the loads that they get aren't really high paying. So, if they can keep their head over water, for those 3 months, there's a very high odds scenario there where they're going to survive. But, same instance, right? I've just sold a $25,000, $30,000 policy,
right?
3 months, that's still going to be a pretty hefty chargeback coming back at your,
right.
at your pocket,
Not a lot of people are shutting down their homes or their cars. You know what I'm saying? But they are, they can shut down their businesses. Grace, I'll come to you real quick. Alex Cardenas, who's with us, he's one of our agents out of the Chicago office. The Luigi guys, them. He's in our Slack. He's saying preach.
Yeah.
Grace said, your purpose
Alex?
in life keeps you working hard with focus. It's the motor that pushes you every day, enjoying what you do with a thankful heart. So Todd, we're shifting gears a little bit here. What is your purpose? What's your purpose? Like what again, like keeps you coming into this office again, not missing like any days, working the weekends, working nights, whatever that might look like. What is that driver for you?
Man, I mean, obviously I'm doing this for something, and it would be, it's a selfish something for myself, obviously, and not just for myself, but for my wife. But like, really, what keeps me in the seat, what keeps the needle moving on the day is really just helping people out. I mean, I know it sounds cliche as hell and like really corny, right? It's like, oh man, I just
Like to
freaking
help
love
people.
helping people so much, man. No, I mean, honestly, dude, we're in such a great position to not only like, yeah, man, dude, helping people super rewarding. I've said it a number of times on this podcast, dude, like saving somebody tens of thousands of dollars, dude, you walk away thinking, dude, that I just helped somebody, I just changed somebody's life potentially. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I mean, for real, but like making money while you're at it too. I mean, who could have asked for anything better? At the end of the day, I mean, that's what it's all about, dude. It's like, yeah, dude, I just saved you 10,000, but I just made $10,000. Let's go. Like
Double whammy, baby.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thanks for that 10K. I appreciate it.
Where's my
But yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But no, I mean, like as cliche as it sounds, that really is what keeps the drive going,
Yep.
Obviously I'm trying to build a life for my wife and I. I made mention of that earlier too. We moved from Pittsburgh down here to Texas about 5 years ago. We're still renting, but we've recently grown out of our 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. We just signed a lease on a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom house.
Woo.
Yeah, pretty stoked on that. Not on the 3rd floor anymore. I don't have to walk that dog up and down the stairs. And he's going to be happy for it too, because he's getting old just like I am.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, dude, and that's, we're working with one of our other partners, mortgage lender, try to clean up the credit and stuff to be in a good position for first-time home buyer literally this time next year.
Right.
So that's what I'm ultimately doing it for is, for me, my family type of scenario. But, what keeps me going is just, I'm good at saving people money, man, and I get to make money while I do it.
Go further even than just the savings. Okay, I'm saving them, but like even like if they ever have to use the policy that I just sold them to, like that's what ultimately really is going to help them, right? If they ever have to use that policy, like there's one thing to save some people money, but there's a lot of agents out there that save people money just by cutting freaking coverage and not doing their due diligence and doing what we do, right? I think that's really important.
That's part of the word track too, man. Like, yeah, being a very straightforward. I literally segue into like from, hey, I'm a very transparent, straightforward person, to like my next line is, ultimately my number one goal here is to make sure that you're properly protected. And that's truth. That is truth, right? Because we've got, certificate of insurance. We've got to meet certain criteria for them to even be contracted through a company. But to Joe's point, if we're cutting corners and we're skipping lines to try to win that business, and then a claim comes up and then they don't pay on that claim, now that company goes bankrupt. Guess how much they love you now?
They don't.
Exactly.
They love
they don't.
Account. They love your bank account because they're coming for it.
Oh yeah, they're gonna love to sue you. That's for sure.
Right.
But I mean, at the end of the day, and coming back into, I mean, how we win, right? Is always going to be on price. It's always going to be on price. But you have to let them know, hey, man, my number one goal here is to make sure that you are properly protected. A very close second is going to be the price. And when I'm talking to a commercial customer, hey, man, insurance is going to be a huge overhead, especially for a trucker, right? It's literally going to, I take it to trucking. It's going to be your second most costly expense next to fuel, right? I mean, because it's true. It really is. And then, repairs. I mean, at any given time, you're going to have repairs that are going to be super pricey too. But I mean, just for any commercial exposure, it's going to be, hey, my number one goal here is to make sure you're properly protected. You conduct the business that you're conducting. A very close second is going to be that price. The price has got to make sense, or what are we talking about here?
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, this could drive you out of business. This could hit your bottom line so hard that you got to raise your prices on whatever product you're selling. Mm-hmm. This could hit you so hard that I'm going to run one truck instead of two trucks. There's a lot of different scenarios that that are at play there that you could, use that and plug that into.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it's funny. It's probably why we're talking about relatability, probably why we relate so much. It goes back to literally why I started in insurance. That was the first question Tracy Bibb asked me, is like, why are you doing this? It's like, man, I'm not going to lie. I freaking love helping people. I know that's super corny, but like, that's my heart, man. Is like, I'm definitely one to serve. I feel like that's my calling, and part of my purpose on this world is to serve others. Right. And do that through, whether that's through leadership or whether that's through mentorship or whether that's literally just being a shoulder to lean on, that type of thing. But at the same time, I love making freaking money.
Yeah,
and it turns out on the property and casualty side, I'm damn near illegal not to have. I said, dude, sign me up, bro. But like, I'm
for
in,
real.
man. And not to diss on the life and health or anything, but I will say, like, I mean, go back to the COVID days. I hate to bring it back up, but it's like, what's some of those first bills that got cut? They're not canceling their auto or their home insurance or their business insurance because they're trying to just keep the business open. They didn't want their car towed or forced place mortgage insurance, but they didn't technically they're not required legally, literally, to have, health insurance or life insurance. And I know there's some differences with Medicare when you get to that. And if you're not taking it, there's penalties, blah, blah, blah. But you get my point. And I'm like, man, and it always takes me back to, I got it from Coach Burt. I'm not sure if he was quoting somebody, but I mean, the money in your pocket is literally directly related to the amount of problems and also the size of problems that you solve. We have a lot of these big problems because ultimately that's what we are as consultants and as relatable advisors. It's like, man, we're out here solving problems for these people because they need it. I want to help them. And man, it freaking pays me good when I help them, dude. It's like, dude, this is
Joe. That's why you and I are so good friends, dude. We both love making money, bro.
I mean,
like that's it, dude.
Nothing wrong with it. They say money don't buy happiness. I say no. This is from Nate. They say money doesn't buy happiness. Oh, it buys happiness, dude. He's like, I'm really happy when I hop in my McLaren, but what it doesn't buy is the fulfillment piece, which the fulfillment piece really is the ability to serve these people through insurance. And that, again, that may be cliche or corny, but still, we are serving them through our products, and it is changing lives, whether that's through savings, whether that's through protection. 100%, man. As we kind of start to wrap up the show a little bit here, let's kind of talk. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one. I didn't even ask like any of the questions that I kind of did, but not really.
Go figure, dude.
I know, right? Hey, we're just vibing. Let's just go with it. So
I knew it was going to go like that.
Burnout is real, especially in your first 2 years, right? And especially at the level that we're running. Like we're definitely not the average. We don't sound like the rest of them, right? And we aren't the rest of them. I truly believe that, and we work hard to be that way. How do you manage the burnout? Or is it, again, because of this purpose and because of what I have and what keeps the needle moving forward every day and helping people, I don't experience it. I doubt that's the case, but like, how do you manage burnout? If somebody's going through burnout right now, what would you suggest to them? And then we'll kind of start to wrap up a little bit.
So you take that concept of burnout and you push it really far down, and then you
bury it.
you don't think about it. You go to sleep tonight, you wake up tomorrow, and it's not there anymore. And it pops up here in a couple months, and then, dude, it hits right here. It's just push that thing down again. You know what I mean? Like we're not burnout's not it's not even in the equation, Yeah. But no, seriously. Dude, I mean, I get it. I guess I'm just like a kind of a different type like that. I know for sure that you are, dude. I mean, yeah. I've seen how full your plate is, and
I don't really
come in and this guy, man, his wife's car gets stolen and he's got to come shoot a podcast. He's like, literally, I walk in the door. He's like, dang, dude, Maria's car got jacked last night. I'm like, what?
But like, I got back to shoot a podcast
in 5 minutes. I'm like,
I was like,
talk about somebody never. Yeah. Burnout doesn't even exist to this man. Right. Yeah. And honestly, dude, I mean, there's some days where I'm like, dude, yeah, I mean, if I'm getting in that rhythm where it's like personal auto, like, yeah, that'll drive me freaking nuts, dude. Like, does anybody else want to help with some of this, or does anybody else want some leads? Like, I'm trying to get back into the trucking segment or the, restaurant or whatever it may be. Right. And I think that's probably, one of the things, like when we go to these conventions, right, we're always talking to like life insurance agents and health agents and stuff, and I think you and I were just talking about this yesterday, as a matter of fact, where it's like, dude, like Medicare, right? And I'm not knocking, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not knocking anything. Like if Medicare is all you do it and be the best at it, right? Same with life, same with health, same with whatever. But like, dude, PNC, that's why I like everybody like kind of sleeps on PNC, especially at these, oh, guess who I see what? Chase McAllister.
I know.
A prime example.
Yeah, he's going to be
prime
like,
example.
No money in PNC.
the token guy for what I'm literally about to say here. Everybody sleeps on PNC, dude, but like that's the reason why I don't get burned out is because I can jump from, and I think I may mention that earlier too, dude. Like I'll jump from writing a title bond to doing a commercial trucking account, back to like a restaurant, homeowners. The needle goes back and forth all day long. So I never talk about the same subject for more than like an hour. I mean, even quoting it and everything. So while yes, I mean, being in a sales role in general, you get tired of selling, right? But I mean, to a certain degree, dude, like that's just who I am. I've been in sales my whole freaking life, dude.
Right.
I was selling lawns and stuff back in the day at like 12 years old. I'm whipping the freaking lawnmower. I'm pushing that thing a block away with the weed eater strapped to it. And, I mean, dude, I've been doing sales since, I mean, that's what I'm good at. That's, when you find your niche and you find what you're good at, it's hard to get burned out at it.
Right. And I think it's, well, you to kind of elaborate, and not even necessarily elaborate, but to kind of like summarize some of that too. Like I look at that, and for me, like if I ever feel the burnout, and really I don't even necessarily feel the burnout, I can just feel myself getting stretched thin, which then comes like some overwhelming, not necessarily burnout, but I can feel it. And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to kind of, I guess call it burnout, right? It's like I'm getting stretched a little thin here. A lot of the times for me, and again, take it with a grain of salt, I like to change pace. I need the change of pace. Let me switch gears a little bit, man. You guys know one of my favorite words is let me pivot a little bit here, man. Not to say not to continue doing what I'm doing, but maybe there's a different pace or a different way that I can approach it. That again, kind of dissolves some of that burnout or some of that stretch then, or a lot of it is, you kind of just brought it up, man. Maybe if you're feeling, the burnout, especially if you're like the actual owner of the agency, it's, you may just need some more people. It's like I got too much on my plate. I need more people to delegate to help me freaking do this thing. Because we all know it, Todd. I was going to say it at least once. You want to go fast, you do it alone. But if you want to go far, you got to do it with other freaking people. And I think a lot of people, and maybe that goes back to what we were talking about with pride and ego. I can do it myself. And then again, in their first year, their first 2 years, they're completely burned out because of trying to do everything themselves and maybe just doing the same repetitive motion and the same. Like I would encourage y'all, if you're going through that or experiencing that, try a change of pace, see what that does. Okay. We got a couple minutes here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm watching all y'all live here. Thank you for the questions, and the comments there, Grace. I appreciate it. Real quick, Todd, my favorite question to ask people as we kind of come to a close is 5 years from now, what do you hope people say about Todd Wilson? What do you hope they say?
He came, he saw, and he conquered.
Yeah, I like that. You could apply that to a lot too.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave it there, dude. Everything he did, he was good at.
I like it, and we're only gonna get better at it. All right, brother. Well, thank you, man, for hopping on. I do appreciate it. Guys, if you haven't had the chance to connect or meet with Todd, definitely add him here within Facebook. He is my top sales agent and our team lead here within the internal agency. We seriously couldn't do it without him. Thank you, brother, for hopping on. I guess
sure.
Real quick,
thanks for having me.
If anybody wants to reach out, just Facebook, what's the best way to hit you up?
Yeah, I mean, direct on Messenger is a great way to do that. I mean, I'm sure I got a lot of you guys, on my friends list already. So if you got any questions or looking for advice or looking to enter the space and, want a little taste and, happy to provide that to you.
Love it. All right, y'all. Happy winning on Wednesday. Thank you so much again for tuning in. We couldn't do it without our members as well. And we continue to run this show now coming up on, we're actually not too far away from almost 4 years of running the show, which is absolutely freaking ridiculous. But again, we couldn't do it without our members, couldn't do it without our sponsor, Viva, and ultimately couldn't do it without some of our special guests as well. So thank you again, Todd. Thank you to all our members, y'all. It is the peak of the week, right? It is not time to slow down. It is time to finish strong, and Todd led with it. Success does not happen overnight. Keep the pedal down. We'll see you guys next week at 9 a.m. Central. Later.